Today, over 700 million people still live without access to safe drinking water, and 2.5 billion people globally remain without basic sanitation. In addition, many people's lives are still affected by water-related projects. In this case, the lack of access to improved water supply and sanitation directly suggests the poverty in the global south. Thanks to the Millennium Development Goals, 2 billion people gained access to improved water from 1990 to 2010. However, 70% of the sub-Saharan Africa population still has no access. Today, our group will present common barriers of water issues and provide some possible solutions. The importance of monitoring issues are absolute. We should know the problem before we solve it. And the complexity of water management makes this situation even more complicated. The scope of water management is much larger than the lake or the river we see with our naked eyes. The range are very large, from the upper stream to the lower stream, from the lands around to the public transportation system of such water region. Thus, various criteria should be adopted to measure the situation. Potential barriers, therefore, are led by such a situation. For example, lack of communication between local governments, by which important data could be exchanged, and the local government should undertake coherent policies for which they can monitor the same subject.
A recent study done by the World Bank on 15 sub-Saharan African government expenditure on water supply and sanitation showed that only 2% of their total budget were used in this kind of project, and a third of this country spent nothing in improving or maintaining their assets or services. China often uses its 5-year plan to set up targets of economic growth and to deal with national water pollution issues. However, GDP is the most crucial indicator when China designs their development plans. Therefore, local governments would reduce expenditures on environmental projects and spend more on promoting economic growth. For instance, in its 10th 5-year plan, the budget designed to deal with wastewater was estimated to be 16 million. However, in reality, only 10 billion in total was implemented.
Water-related projects could also lead to social problems. For the case of China's Three Gorge Dam program, the resettlement of relocated people is a big issue. There are about 1.2 million residents has been relocated so far by the Chinese central government, and Chinese government do carry out some policies to subsidize those relocated residents. For example, building new houses, offering compensation, and help them to move to urban areas. According to a government figure, about 85% of the residents has been resettled to the city of Chongqing. However, 46% of those relocated people are still live in extreme poverty. Many of them live just 1/3 of the World Bank poverty level of $1 per day. The main reason is most of the relocated residents are farmers. Moving to urban areas means giving up the traditional way of life that they are familiar with. And Chinese central government to provide some training system to teach those relocated people how to make a living by themselves in big cities. However, those policies are not really properly addressed by the local government, so they are not really comparable in the job hunting. And even though the government provides them the houses and the compensation, but the life quality is still decreasing, and this leads to the anger among those relocated people to the local government. So some of them choose some radical means to protect the local government, and many of them are put into jail.
After talking about the budgetary and monetary barriers, now I would like to talk about the water problem that exists in Indonesia. So, Indonesian government currently has a target of achieving clean water for universal clean water for Indonesian citizens in 2019. However, the fact is that almost 50% of Indonesian citizens still cannot have access to clean water, especially in those rural areas. Now, the question is why? There are two main barriers identified by the experts. One of them is the lack of budget given by the government, and the second one is the privatization of clean drinking water. This is a picture of people living in the rural area. They are seen as washing their clothes and taking bath and drinking even this muddy, dirty water. And that is because of the lack of budget given by the government to realize their target of the 2019 universal clean water. Now, the budget given by the Indonesian government is only 500 billion rupiah, while in fact the needed budget is around 43 trillion rupiah, or around US dollar 4.6 billion. Now, that's a big difference in number. So, in order to bridge this gap, the Indonesian government has agreed to privatize drinking water. And this is a picture of one of the most famous privatized drinking water company in Indonesia called Aqua. They sell their water in form of gallons, which cost approximately 5.5 US dollar per month.
Spain. Spain has attracted a lot of people with their style of football and famous agriculture and dancing, and other things. However, it is also known that Spain has been a country facing economic barriers. We must, however, not neglect the ongoing environmental problem that has been pulling Spain back with its development. Water drought has been a problem for over 40 years, and Spain has been suffering from it. Water drought also is causing a chain reaction to other environmental problems in Spain. What other problems are there in Spain? Global warming, as a given, everybody knows about global warming, led to lack of rain in the winter, which causes water droughts in the summer for Spain. Also, demand of water in vacational facility, making locals sacrifice their own water usage, and agricultural problems has been occurring too. Why is it a problem? If one could sum it up and blame it all on global warming, there would be nothing to discuss. One must say that greed is also one of the cause of water drought problems in Spain. The resorts that are being built demand a lot of water because of the maintenance of pools, golf courses, and other facilities. Agriculture has changed in Spain since they are now growing more water-thirsty crops such as tomato, lettuce, and yeah.
To address the monitoring issue, the model of Tennessee Valley Authority is suggested. TVA is an independent corporation owned by the United States government, which is in charge of supervising the general situation of Tennessee River. The mission of it includes flood damage reduction, water quality and supply, power production, land use, and so on. With such power, it's able to supervise every single important data in the river region. Therefore, the achievement of TVA is tremendous. For example, 240 million damage prevented each year of flood. 4 million people drinking water is supplied and guaranteed by the TVA. Therefore, such independent authority is a possible solution.
As for budget and fundraising, the government should seek for international support from the World Bank, GEF, and the UNEP, and other bilateral or multilateral agencies. Projects supported by this institution will be monitored properly, so it will also promote sustainability and avoid corruption.
For the case of the relocated people in China, the main barrier is lack of a sustainable support system from government. So I think we need the support from NGOs and volunteers who can provide medical and the legal support. Actually, from the video we watched in class last week, we can find out that what those victims really need is a person who have the relative knowledge to help them to protect their right.
Now discuss about the programs that World Bank do in Indonesia. So World Bank has created a new project called World Bank's Water Supply and Sanitation for Low Income Communities project, which in it World Bank will work together with NGOs from inside several countries and go to several areas to teach those people how to manage their own clean drinking water. So World Bank, together with the several NGOs in Indonesia, they went to an area called Bogor in West Java, and then they taught those people how to manage and create and make their own clean drinking water. So World Bank, and together with everyone, World Bank and NGOs went to the mountain area, and then they brought the fresh water supply from the mountain area to the village. And then they taught those people how to manage the water so that they will not have to buy the privatized drinking water that they used to buy every month. As quoted in the report made by the World Bank, Teti, the citizen of Bogor, told World Bank that she used to pay 5.5 US dollar to buy the drinking water, but then since World Bank came, they have been able to save their money to be used for something else, and that they're also able to get a better quality water.
What is to be done? Greed can also come from ignorance. At times, ignorance is bliss, but not in the case of Spain. Spain is trying to spread awareness to the locals by telling children that they should cherish the water. But why are the locals the only ones who must be aware of the importance of water usage? What about shutting down the resorts and places of high demand in water? That would not be a realistic solution. Getting people's attention by making flyers or using media would be one effective way and to grab attention. As for agriculture, there are many researches done till now, and it is good to adopt some technology that already exists.